Now, the tips that I share with you today are not rocket science. Every single one is simple. Process daily. Whatever new piece of paper or receipt or card or piece of information comes into your life, at the end of each day, process it. You process at the end of each day so that way you don't get the pile-ups. Because then it piles up, and then people come over, you need to make things look nice, so you put that in a box. And then later on, it piles up again, more people come over, you put that in a box. And before long, you have, I don't know, 5, 10 boxes, right? So you want to process each day, that way you keep up with everything. So an example, raise your hand if you brush your teeth every day. You have to raise your hand, right? Otherwise, nobody will want to sit with you after lunch. So instead, what if you didn't brush every day? What if you saved up until the end of the month and then brushed for 90 minutes? That doesn't work, right? Bad things would happen. Same thing with not processing daily. You brush your teeth every day, you've got to process every day. That's how you keep up with the information. And the one thing they always ask me is, what is the best tool I need to buy? What is the best calendar I should get? What is the best filing system I should get? What is the best app for my smartphone to make me more organized, to make me more productive? Tell me what to buy so I can use my time better. And the answer is there is nothing you need to buy. Each and every one of you already possesses the key tool that you need to have, and that is your brain. Because how you think and how you view things and the mindset that you have is going to determine how organized and how productive you are. It has to do with how you think and how you approach the decisions that you make with how you're going to use your time each and every day.
The biggest tool I have, the best, most effective thing is just my brain and making informed decisions and planning and thinking about my thinking. And I think that was just a big aha for me.
You have to take your time in order to save time. So many of us, we get really excited, which is awesome, but then we dive in without planning, and that's when mistakes happen. Because so many people just want to jump in and do, and they don't plan ahead. And therefore, they have to do a lot of extra work to get to the same place, when if they had planned ahead, they wouldn't have had to work as hard. So it's really important to take a step back and do a lot of planning, and that's where your brain comes in. Number one, you need to identify your priorities. Now, some of you are saying, I know what my priorities are. The problem is, when we just think about it occasionally, it sits in the back of our mind in our subconscious. It never comes to the front when it's time to schedule. And that's how things like Facebook and Pinterest, and I know we talked about social media earlier, but we tend to lose a lot of time in those things because we don't have our priorities out and visible. Set specific targets. A lot of times we'll say, I want to make more money next month. I want to have higher revenue this year. I would like to spend more time with my kids. Well, how do we measure more? So that's why it's very important you start putting some numbers in the targets that you want to reach. I want to have 2 Q&Cs each month for the next 3 months, and then 3 Q&Cs each month for the rest of the year. I want $2,000 in revenue and another $1,000 in commission each month. You need solid numbers, solid targets that you can measure.
And I was just completely blown away. And the people that were sitting with me at my table were also equally impressed. The way Helene was able to keep everyone engaged, the way Helene was able to customize her presentation to everybody there at that meeting was really unique.
I'm going to go back to that priorities list, back to the target list, and make sure that whatever you put in your calendar is supporting that priority and that target. And so from this list, this is how you're going to choose your priorities every day that you're going to be working on. Not only that, but once you see how much you do, you'll be a lot more positive about yourself, and you'll be able to ask specific people for specific help. This is how you learn to delegate. You can't delegate unless you know what it is that you need help with, and that's where the task list comes in. And because we do so much, that's why we have a harder time figuring out what we need to do next. You need to choose the top 3 tasks from there that need to get done the next day. That's going to be your primary focus to make sure that no matter what happens, no matter what comes your way, no matter what kind of distractions get thrown at you, you know once you get back in from that distraction, you're focusing back on these top 3. Now, if you have a great day with no disruptions, you'll want to have your bonus 3 lined up in case you do have extra time. So you've got your top 3, then you've got your bonus 3. That will be your focus for the day. It'll help rein you back in whenever you have distractions. How many of you have a smartphone? Raise your hand. All right. Most of America does. Almost 80% now carry around smartphones. Now the key is to realize that the smartphone is your tool that you should control. That little guy should not control you. The average person receives 100 texts or emails per day. 100. And if you have the indicator on your phone or on the computer screen where it blips at you or rings or beeps or vibrates, you have allowed yourself to be interrupted 100 times each day. We all complain about how interruptions distract us. We're doing it to ourselves. Now, every time your brain has to switch from one activity to another, it takes anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds for the brain to refocus. So if you allow yourself to be interrupted 100 times each day, that's 100 minutes you've lost in brain restart time. So just from turning off your email and text indicators, you can save time. Now, I'm not telling you not to check. I'm just telling you set aside focus time. So even if you work 10 minutes and then check your phone, work another 10 minutes and then check your phone, you're going to stay on track.
She was very dynamic. She was funny. She was energetic. And I heard a lot of positive feedback following the meeting about how valuable the information that she presented on was. And I would highly recommend Helene to any group to increase productivity.
If you are starting to feel overwhelmed, if you're starting to feel stressed, if you're feeling like you're spinning your wheels and you're not accomplishing what you want to accomplish, then you know that you need to sit down with a calendar and start scheduling things out.
You're going to take your cash, and on the count of 3, I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. You're just going to throw it in the air. Okay? Oh, you're hesitating. Why are you hesitating? It's your cash. Okay, anybody else want to play? We're just going to throw it into the air. No. Why don't you want to play? I might lose it. Oh, you might lose it. Is anybody going to play? Oh. All right. I know. Here you go. I want you to go ahead and stand right there. When I said, but you have to keep your hands to yourself. When I suggested that you throw cash into the air, all the people without cash smiled. And the people with the cash looked at me like, are you nuts? However, what I'd like to point out is, when it comes to time, we just throw it away. But you guys guarded your cash, even $1 bills, you guarded them. Yet your time is more valuable than those $1 bills. You took the time to think about what I requested. You took the time to process it. It wasn't very long because I saw those looks within only a few seconds. And you knew it was the wrong thing to do because it could cost you. And that's the same way you need to think about your time. You need to stop and make that decision before you do anything, whether it's verbal or written or somebody's asking you to take an action. You need to treat that thought the same way you did those $1 bills that are worth far less than your time.
Thing that keeps people from being organized? Is it something going on up here? Are we too busy? What is it?
I think it's a combination of people being too busy and then not taking the time to plan, because we want everything instantly. We have our phones, we're going to hit an app, and then life's going to be better.
Right.
But if we just take a step back and plan what it is that's bothering us, what the challenge is, and what steps can we take in order to fix what's going wrong, things go a lot more smoothly.
How many of you are old enough to remember Dittos? Oh my goodness, I used to love to smell Dittos. You know, when they were fresh off the machine, you just get the purple all over your face and just smell them.
So when I first started teaching, there was still a ditto machine in the teacher's workroom. And so I was really excited because I had grown up seeing my teachers crank things out. So I tried to make one of those dittos because there were still a few of those little sheets left. That's a lot of work. Because you have that one sheet, you have to plan ahead, get all of your ideas on there. You couldn't make a mistake because there was no liquid paper for that little ditto copy master and no electric typewriter to just backspace with the white ribbon. Remember those? You had to get all of your thoughts just right on that one form to make all of your dittos. Whereas today, we just type up an email really fast, hit send, and that's it. We don't think about what we're doing. And that's where mistakes come in, and that's where time is lost. So I encourage you today to think about this. You have to take your time in order to save time.
Organized, and by productive, I don't mean perfection. What I mean is that you have enough time to run your business the way you want to, and you have enough time to live your life the way you want to.
Helene Segura, once again, she is an author, speaker, and a certified professional organizer.
First of all, tell everybody what exactly that you do.
Sure, I help people get organized, save time, and get more done. Help them kick chaos to the curb by organizing their time, data.
That is awesome. We can kick chaos to the curb.
Yes, we
That's
can.
definitely.